Hi, it's Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, and today I'm getting ready to plant my fall, winter, spring garden because here in the low desert we just keep it rolling from, say, late September when it cools off from the extreme summer heat all the way through June. For some things we can keep harvesting, but we do have to, right now we're going into a cooler season, so we need to plant cool season vegetables. But we can continue to roll through all the way, even December 15th through January 15th, when it has potential to freeze at night. We just have to protect some of our more tender vegetables. And then we start January 15th with the warm season vegetables. So we just keep it rolling for a good 8 months, really, if we have time to manage and protect our crops. So today, in order to get my garden towers all prepped, I am going to be working with my worm tower because I have to take my worms out of my garden tower, which has the vertical composting tower in the center of it. I have to take them out because they would just cook to death in the summer heat here. So then I put them into their own little, can you see that? Yeah, their own little worm tower. And then I bring this inside. It actually lives in my bathtub where it's very cool throughout the summer. And then I just feed them in there, so they're kind of out of the way. But I could keep them in the kitchen because it doesn't even stink. Like, I should actually be putting this worm tower where the trash can is, because one of my New Year's resolutions this year was to eliminate my trash. And really, when I look into my trash now, it's basically kitchen scraps that I just don't have room for in my worm towers. But now, this is my third season with my garden towers, and so I not only have two garden towers, but now this year I've also incorporated my worm tower. So I'm getting to the point where I may be able to accommodate most of my kitchen scraps. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm just going to keep working on that. I may have to add another worm tower. But the thing that I've noticed about, some people say, why don't you just have one or the other and just go with that? Well, I've noticed some really good benefits to having both. In the garden tower with the vertical vermicomposting system, it actually immediately takes up the water content of all the vegetables that I'm putting in there. And we have to remember that vegetables and most plants are about 80% water. And so all of those scraps are really high in nutrient dense water. So when I put my kitchen scraps into the vermicomposting tower in my garden tower, those plants have immediate access. The worms go to work on it. They're breaking it down. The bacteria is breaking it down so the worms actually can eat the bacteria. And it's just this whole amazing ecosystem. But there's also really valuable application for the worm tower because, I get really nutrient dense worm tea out of the bottom. It gives me extra space for extra kitchen composting scraps. And I can harvest the compost directly out of there that hasn't been utilized by any plants yet. So it's actually much richer when I take it out, the compost, when I take it out of the worm tower than when I take it out of the vertical garden tower where all the plants have been accessing that in real time. So they're both great systems, and I find that in the spirit of permaculture, when we are talking about making everything diverse and everything interconnected and having multiple systems so that if one fails, you've got another one, it's really in that spirit, having multiple types of composting. Ideally, I live in a small property and I'm renting, so I can't set up, unfortunately, I cannot set up a bigger compost system where I can throw all the extras or all of the larger, yard scraps. So that would be an additional layer of security for me and of production. So if you have room for that, set up as many different types of systems of composting as you can in as many different areas so that it's always available and always convenient to use. So with that, let's look at what we're going to do with breaking down the worm tower, revitalizing it, and separating out some worms to put into the garden tower so that we can get that system up and going for the fall, winter, and spring season. And I will shoot that in an additional video. So for now, thank you for watching. Like my videos if you like them, and also please leave any comments or questions, and I'm always happy to answer and help. Thank you.